Kaibong thought about how he became stronger by standing atop his corpses. Despite his powerful body, he was unable to protect the person he loved the most. As June defeated the monster, Kaibong tended to his mother, who consoled him and expressed her affection towards him before eventually losing consciousness. Overwhelmed with grief, Kaibong let out a mournful cry. Ha Yongkyun and June of the Seoul Defense Force discussed Kaibong's recent dungeon clearing accomplishments, having destroyed all dungeons in the area over the past month. Despite this feat, the guild showed dissatisfaction, and Ha Yongkyun believed they would take action soon. To prevent Kaibong from losing control, Ha Yongkyun ordered June to bring him in. Kaibong continued his monster-killing rampage, easily defeating a horde of monsters after activating his body enhancement. Following the battle, June introduced herself and revealed they had met before, but the timing wasn't right for a proper greeting. June empathized with Kaibong's desire to destroy all the monsters and dungeons, but explained that it was ultimately meaningless as they would reappear over time. Kaibong questioned whether he should do nothing after enduring 3,000 years of agony, including his body breaking apart and turning to dust just to return to his family. He expressed frustration that all his efforts were in vain, and questioned if June was suggesting he should simply endure it all again. After their conversation, Kaibong walked away. But June offered to help him with his revenge and destroy the monsters and dungeons. She invited him to come with her. 6 months later, Kaibong visited his unconscious mother, informing her that he had become a high-ranking public official, which meant he wouldn't be able to visit her, often due to his busy schedule. Despite this, he promised to return and asked his mother not to be too disappointed. Kaibong came out of the room and was greeted by the officers as he prepared to head to the dungeons. At a bar, a man drank while listening to news of the government ending the Shield Guild's defense service in the metropolitan area. Suddenly, an unknown man approached and identified the drinking man as Captain Beat Cheel of the scout team. The unknown mentioned a source of recent uproar, who was causing trouble for their business. Beat Cheel asked if he should eliminate him, but the unknown man instructed him to recruit him instead, treating him like a team captain. Beat Cheel stood up and left, acknowledging the instructions. Kaibong's group entered a 5-star class dungeon named Monstrous Bird Nest, and one of the members informed Kaibong that this was the last dungeon scheduled to break that month. Kaibong ordered the group to be on standby and left to confront the monsters. He requested the system to locate the boss, and as it scanned, he killed the surrounding monsters. The scan was completed, and the system informed him of the boss's location. Kaibong immediately headed there and came face to face with the boss called Albatross. Kaibong's team was observing his battle with the boss monster Albatross in the 5-star class dungeon Monstrous Bird Nest. The members estimated that Kaibong would soon emerge victorious, as they prepared to move to collect the spirit stones from the monsters. The dungeon entrance suddenly opened, and they were attacked by an unknown person who threw a dagger at the man, followed by another attack, knocking down the vice-captain. Beat Cheel, who had arrived with the attackers, asked the team which of them was Kim Kaibong. Meanwhile, Kaibong was still fighting the boss monster Albatross. Kaibong was hit by the boss's fiery breath, causing an explosion that Beat Cheel felt from a distance. He realized that Kaibong was not with the rest of the team, and made the decision to attack and kill Kaibong's team in order to draw him out. Kaibong acquired attribute resistance from the attack and emerged unharmed. He then attacked, defeating the boss and causing a black sphere to drop from its corpse. He asked the system what the sphere was. The system identified it as a day stone, but was unable to provide further information due to being offline. Suddenly, the system alerted him of a fight occurring at the dungeon entrance. Beat Cheel and his team attacked Kaibong's group, beating them down. After learning that Kaibong had defeated the dungeon boss, Beat Cheel realized that the explosion he heard earlier was Kaibong fighting the monster. As they were leaving to find Kaibong, Kaibong suddenly appeared behind them, causing them to be surprised. Kaibong approached Beat Cheel's group, who introduced himself, but then stopped when he felt Kaibong's powerful aura, causing him to tremble. Kaibong asked if Beat Cheel's group was from the Shield Guild. The people behind Beat Cheel felt disrespected by Kaibong's question, but Beat Cheel told them to be quiet. Beat Cheel remembered the order to recruit and treat Kaibong as a team captain, and cursed at the thought of such a low rank for someone like Kaibong. He realized that they needed to make Kaibong their ally, even if it meant giving up an executive position. Beat Cheel offered Kim Kaibong to join the Shield Guild, emphasizing their strength as the strongest guild in South Korea and promising to grant him any wish he desires. Beat Cheel's words were sincere and honest. The position of a team captain in a large guild could earn a salary of at least 3 billion won. They had immense power and influence, making it nearly impossible for any country to challenge them. One of Kaibong's team members overheard Beat Chiel's offer and realized that their squad would be useless without Kaibong. Being scouted by a large guild was a turning point in a player's life, and it was an offer that no one would refuse. Recalling what happened to his mother, Kaibong asked if the Shield Guild was responsible for the defense of the capital city, which also included Moontown. Beat Chiel confirmed. However, before he could finish his words, Kaibong attacked and sent him flying, leaving him unconscious in front of his team. The rest of Beat Chiel's team prepared to attack, but Kaibong made it clear that it was not about personal feelings, but rather payback for attacking his team. The Shield Guild is the strongest and most prominent guild in South Korea, responsible for protecting the capital area where high-ranked dungeons are located. With over 5,000 members, including the 3 ranked players of South Korea, they are considered the country's shield. Kaibong attacked the Shield Guild members and easily defeated them one by one, even using one of them as a weapon. Beat Chiel watched in awe as Kaibong continued his rampage, realizing that Kaibong was incredibly powerful and seemed indifferent to their attack. Beat Chiel also noted that he had brought the best members of his team, but they were still no match for Kaibong. Beat Chiel's team was being treated for their injuries in the Shield Guild's building, with some in critical condition. The director of the Shield Guild arrived and requested to speak to Beat Chiel alone. After injecting him with something to wake him up, the director asked him to explain what happened. Beat Chiel revealed that they were defeated by Kim Kaibong, whose power was immeasurable. The director then asked if Kaibong could match their guildmaster. Beat Chiel was unable to make a decision as both Kaibong and the guildmaster were transcendent beings that were beyond his reach. When asked by the director if they could recruit Kim Kaibong, he informed the director that Kaibong's hostility towards them was evident and they could not recruit him. The director got up and left, deciding that Kaibong needed to be eliminated before other guilds could recruit him. He then contacted someone and issued a kill order to the vice master. He thought that if they can't have him, they must eliminate him so he won't stand in their way. Kaibong was at Abyssal Beach, a 4-star dungeon, hunting monsters when he killed a whale-like creature. He then asked the system to provide more information about the Day Stone, but the system responded that it was impossible due to being in offline mode. Frustrated, Kaibong sighed. However, the system then revealed that it could absorb the Day Stone and explained the benefits of doing so, which included a system upgrade and access to the source of the dungeons. Kaibong agreed to let the system absorb the Day Stone. In the meantime, a person dressed in unusual attire was walking and drew attention from people around him. He approached a woman and showed her a poorly drawn picture, asking if she had seen the person in it. The woman was confused by the drawing and said she hadn't seen the person, then walked away. However, the person felt the system absorbing the Day Stone and was relieved to have found where Kaibong was. After absorbing the Day Stone, Kaibong's system gained 2 new functions, human analysis and emotion expression. The system explained that human analysis allows it to gather detailed information about a person, and if the target is a player, it can view their stats. Kaibong found this interesting and asked about the emotion expression function. The system then showed an emoticon reaction, making him speechless. Kaibong landed on a rooftop and asked the system to locate the nearest bus stop for him to return to the army. The system asked why he didn't fly to the location, which surprised Kaibong. He assumed that the system's new upgrade allowed it to ask questions. Kaibong replied that he was asked not to fly by Lieutenant Colonel O, who said his flying created chaos within the Air Force. Kaibong felt that someone was following him while he was walking. He suspected that the person might be from the Shield Guild, but he couldn't sense any hostility from him. He ordered the system to analyze the man, but the analysis failed, leaving Kaibong frustrated. Eventually, the pursuer approached him and sat beside him with a smile on his face. Kaibong wondered about the man's intentions. Kaibong boarded the bus, deciding not to engage with the man who had been following him. However, he found that the man was already sitting beside him, which surprised him. In a 4-star dungeon, Sard Emperor Park Darim, the vice master of the Shield Guild, was battling multiple giant snake monsters. After killing the surrounding monsters with his sword, he threw his weapon in a particular direction, and the director appeared. Darim questioned why the director was there since he had previously instructed him not to come unless it was urgent. The director responded with surprise and said that Darim was living inside the dungeon, so he assumed it was necessary. The director asked Darim to eliminate someone, but Darim refused and suggested leaving it to the scout team. The director informed him that the scout team had already failed in their mission, which was unusual since they were the best fighters of the Shield Guild and only faced players. They were given priority in terms of equipment and had never failed a mission until now. Darim stopped and was now interested in the mission. Without delay, he rushed to the office of the Prime Minister and made a scene, eventually confronting Gu Song-ryong, who is both the Prime Minister of South Korea and an S-rank player. Her skills as a player are among the finest, and she decided to become a politician to rescue more players than she could as a warrior. Darim greets Prime Minister Gu Song-ryong, whom he hasn't seen in 3 years. But she rebuffs his concern and tells him not to call her ma'am. Darim comments on her cold demeanor, and Song-ryong draws her weapon, reminding him of her temper. Gu Song-ryong is an S-rank player and the current Prime Minister. She was one of the first-generation Awakeners on that day, which makes her a first. Song-ryong activated her powerful mass teleport skill to take Darim to a secluded area, impressing him with her abilities. However, she quickly prepared to attack him and accused him of treason. Meanwhile, Kaibong arrived at the base and was still being followed by the mysterious man. When the soldiers at the entrance asked if the man was his brother, Kaibong denied knowing him. The soldiers at the base stopped the man who was following Kaibong and told him that ordinary citizens are not allowed inside. Meanwhile, inside the base, Kaibong was contemplating the meaning of the source of the dungeons and decided to gather more daystones to give to the system. While changing, he noticed that the mysterious man was at his window and being pursued by the soldiers. Song-ryong and Darim were engaged in a battle, with Darim demanding that she hand over Kim Kaibong. Song-ryong, however, revealed that she knew what the Shield Guild was up to. She explained that thanks to Kim Kaibong's efforts in dealing with dungeon breaks, the government did not renew its contract with the Shield Guild for the Metropolitan Area Defense Service. This meant that the guild situation had become problematic as they no longer received their share of the country's taxes. In an attempt to recruit Kim Kaibong by offering him money and prestige, the Shield Guild had failed. Kim Kaibong had wiped out their team and now the only thing the Shield Guild could do was to kill him. Song-ryong attacked Darim with a fire skill, intending to defeat him. Meanwhile, the soldiers in the base caught the mysterious man who had been following Kaibong. When Kaibong asked why he was following him, the man simply replied that he wanted to see him. Kaibong asked for his identity and how he knew him. The mysterious man claimed to know Kaibong and that he had emerged from the rift. Kaibong was surprised and wondered about the man knowing about him. The man expressed his curiosity to observe Kaibong closely and asked to live with him. The vice captain intervened, warning the man about the military's boundaries. However, the man requested to make him a soldier so he could stay. The vice captain laughed and accepted the mysterious man's challenge, with the condition that he must win against him to join the team. Despite Kaibong's warning, the vice captain insisted and stated that he will punish the man for his rude behavior towards Kaibong. The mysterious man questioned if everyone else in the team had to win against him to join, to which the vice captain responded by calling him an asshole and inviting him to come at him, claiming to be the weakest of the bunch. Darim caught Seong-ryong off guard by dispelling her skill and proceeded to take out a returned stone. Seong-ryong attempted to stop him, but it was too late. Darim then reminded her of her title as Korea's strongest and crushed the stone, challenging her to see if she can protect those close to her. The stone activated, and Darim vanished, leaving her in the area. Seong-ryong was worried about Kaibong as Darim, an S-rank with a myth-grade weapon, was a formidable opponent. In the meantime, the vice captain began the fight with the man, who reiterated that if he won, he could stay, then threw a punch, which the vice captain felt the power of, but Kaibong intervened and stopped the attack. Kaibong then introduced himself and asked for the man's name, to which he replied that it was Konghwa. Kaibong told the vice captain that Konghwa was not someone he could fight and emphasized the importance of analyzing an opponent's strength. The vice captain felt remorseful for lacking strength. Konghwa then asked Kaibong if his words were directed towards him. Kaibong confirmed and asked if Konghwa still wanted to fight him. Konghwa expressed his desire to fight Kaibong. Team members who were a part of the special dungeon management team that had been observing Kaibong for the past 6 months, found the idea crazy. The vice captain acknowledged that Konghwa was strong, but believed that Kaibong was on a different level altogether. Konghwa started the attack towards Kaibong, but Kaibong managed to avoid it with ease and tried to land a hit with a kick, which was blocked by Konghwa, much to Kaibong's surprise. Kaibong continued with his attack while questioning Konghwa's identity and purpose. But Konghwa refused to reveal any information, stating that it was a secret. In response, Konghwa delivered a powerful kick, forcing Kaibong back. Kaibong was taken aback when he was thrown back by Konghwa's kick, as it was the first time he had ever been knocked back. Konghwa then launched an energy ball attack at him, which Kaibong deflected. He wondered if it was magic. When Kaibong asked if it was Kai, Manhwa confirmed that it was similar and proceeded to fire multiple energy balls at him, to the shock of the other team members. Manhwa wondered if he had managed to land a hit on Kaibong. Manhwa was surprised to see Kaibong unharmed. However, Kaibong was angry about his damaged clothes and decided it was his turn to attack. Manhwa, impressed by Kaibong's strength, gave up and stated that it would be okay with staying after winning against a vice-captain. But Kaibong wasn't finished yet and punched Manhwa, knocking him out. Kaibong then instructed the team to help Manhwa unpack. The Fire Dragon's Nest is an 8-star dungeon, which is the highest rank in existence, and it is surrounded by many theories. However, all the experts agree on one thing, that if the Fire Dragon wakes up, South Korea will face its biggest crisis since its creation. Inside the dungeon, Darim killed a Fire Dragon hatchling, intentionally awakening the Fire Dragon, causing it to become enraged and potentially starting the downfall of humanity. Like and subscribe if you want me to continue the next chapters, and thank you for watching.